one thing was very true when I worked at Disney, especially with the characters. There were some guests that just would drive you nuts with how clueless they were with what was going on. Guests, when they're meeting characters at Disney, are amazing. There's so many magical moments. You witness people crying over the emotion of meeting somebody. You see kids falling in love with the characters, and hugs and autographs and special conversations. Honestly, I think working with the characters was possibly some of the most magical stuff that I got to see at Disney. Loved every minute of it. But there were those rare occasions when you would have a guest that would just drive you bonkers with a lot of times just not plain being aware of what was going on or what was happening around them or what their kids were doing or what else. And it could take a moment that was just amazing and turn it into something that was anything but. One of the things that we would see a lot of times is people in their excitement to be there would forget what their kids were doing, just plain not aware of it. And that could create some interesting moments when said kids started running wild a little bit. And you'd be taking pictures and all of a sudden you got this rugrat under your feet. Or you've got a family up there taking pictures with a character and all of a sudden they're adopting other kids that they have no idea who they are because these kids are just running up there like crazy. And the parents are standing in line going, huh? Is that our children? Where did they come from? Where did ours go? Get your kids! Hold their hands! Now, I will say this was interesting in that you could oftentimes see it coming before it happened because you would see it in line and the kids are running around in circles in line and knocking into other people next to them and tripping over people and running out of line and then running back and you just like, control your children there, people. That was probably the thing that drove me the most nuts, is watching how many times you would have a family having this amazing interaction and somebody else's child would run up into the middle of it and interrupt it. It's like, really? And then oftentimes as a result of that, the natural desire would kick in like, okay, fine, you're going to ruin their moment. We're not going to let you have much. Okay, we didn't do that most of the time, but boy, was it tempting to do because they just bothered you. The other thing that really got me is how many people didn't pay any attention until they got up to the character what was going on. And this is true at restaurants and grocery stores and other stuff. How many times do you see somebody walk up to the counter at a fast food restaurant and go, oh, maybe I should figure out what I want to eat. And then they stand there for 5 minutes when they've been standing in line for 10 minutes without ever looking at the menu. Hello? Same kind of thing. They would walk up to the character and then go, oh, should we get our autograph books out? Oh, who is this? Oh, what do we do? Hi. It's like, were you not paying attention? No, you weren't. It's the old deal. The brains just go bye-bye at theme parks. And I admit, I'm guilty. I've done this too. I think most of us have at some point. And then we go, oh, whoops. It's the ones that don't realize they're going, that really get you. And then it goes from this to... But, pay attention to what's going on around you. See what's happening. When the attendant is coming up and saying, hey, folks, Mickey has to step off and go say hi to Minnie or check on Pluto, that means there's going to be a switch and it's going to take a couple minutes. Pay attention. Don't get mad when it happens. That was something else, too, is if we were at a place, say, World Showcase at Epcot, the characters would have to take breaks. It would take 15 minutes to 30 minutes between shifts. When we saw that the line was getting to the point that it was going to run close to that break time, normally the attendants would go back and they would cut off the line. Or they would start telling people, hey, folks, the character has to leave in such and such time. We hope we get you in, but you may not make it. Now, I will admit I got a little perturbed at Disneyland when I actually saw the Cinderella stepsisters having to do this because the attendants were back there yakking instead of doing their job.
hope you know that we will be disappearing to a music lesson with our mother in just a few moments. We have time for a few more groups. We'd love to see as many of you as we can.
Yes, complained about the cast members instead of the guests in this case, because they failed and we ended up being the ones cut off. That bothered me. Get it together, they're cast. But normally the attendant should be the one going back. And this is where I would work with my character attendants, is if they were busy or caught up in something, I would also spill the line. Hey folks, this character's going to have to be leaving in a little bit. We want to let you know that not everybody may get to see them before they have to go. And you try to prep the line. Let them know that this is coming so that way they don't get mad. And then you would have those people that were like, what? They're leaving? What do you mean they're leaving? You didn't say anything. I've been saying something after every single family for the last 10 minutes. Pay attention. Come on, just a little bit. Pay just a little attention. The other ones were the ones that wanted to be smart. Wanted to show how intelligent they were. Wanted to let everybody know they knew all the secrets. Not only are you not being smart, you're being obnoxious, you're getting people irritated, and half the time your information is wrong. You know, and I've mentioned some of these before, that, hey, don't they have air conditioners in their heads? Apparently you've got one in yours and the fan went out. No, they don't. Or the people, well, you know, it's just somebody in costume. Yes, so am I. It's, you know, the people that thought it was fun to go behind the scenes and the secrets and break down the magic. Okay, getting real. Yes, we know it is a person wearing a costume. Yes, we know that's not really the character. Stop being too smart for your own good and use a little imagination, and you'll have a lot more fun, and you won't get on everybody else's nerves. It's trying to figure out who's inside the costume and what they're doing, and you know, and then the ones that, to really emphasize how smart they were, they attempted to grab a hold of costume pieces or people or things like that. Now that was extremely rare, but it did happen. The people that would abuse the princesses, this drove me nuts. I kept a very close eye on my princesses when I was shooting photos of them, especially if we had teenage guys, single guys, although married guys did this too. That's why when I go visit the characters, if I'm with a princess, you know, or one of the ladies, I'm very careful about how I touch them, how I approach them. If I do a pose where I'm, you know, arm around them, I'm barely touching them. I don't squeeze them. I don't get in close. You know, I try to really gauge what the character's comfortable with, because I don't want to put them in an uncomfortable place, because I have seen people do uncomfortable things with them. Those are the ones, because I was old enough for a lot of those characters that I was uncle age at the very least, if not dad age. Yeah, Papa Bear wanted to rise up and just start socking some people sometimes. Leave my princess alone. That would really bother me. And I guess it was a testament to how well I worked with them that I had a couple princesses that really liked working with me, that you could see when I would walk up, they would just kind of go, yes. So, okay, I must be doing something right, that they're happy to see me working with them today. Yeah, those were the kinds of people that... Oh, and the other ones that would just annoy me is when you're taking pictures of the character. Make-A-Wish kids had something special. They would have buttons on to let us know who they were. They generally came up with a group because of the circumstances. And we would allow the Make-A-Wish and some special needs, things like that, come up to the exit of the line. And we would let them cut the line off. And we would hold back everybody else. Let them have a special moment. You know, they kind of have some certain special circumstances there. They're worthy of it. And you would have this family come up, and then you would have smart aleck, you know, one or two people behind the line. Why do they get to cut? What makes them so special? What do they get to do, and why can't I do that? Okay, they make a wish. The child is sick. The child is struggling. The child is suffering. Well, maybe I should just do that then. You would really put your child in that kind of a condition just so you could cut a line? Jerk! And I was surprised how often that happened. Most of the other stuff was really rare. But Make-A-Wish, I would say probably every 4 or 5 Make-A-Wish families, maybe it wasn't that high. Maybe it was closer to like 1 in 10. But it was often enough that when I would see a Make-A-Wish family, I was excited for them. Let's focus on them. Let's make them happy. We want to make their day. And at the same time, there's part of me going, okay, who's going to be the jerk? Who's going to be the one that I'm going to have to go put in their place? And I would very gently put them in their place. They start marking off. I'm like, okay, sir, which of your children are we going to make sick right now so that you can skip a line? No? Shut up. Okay, I didn't tell him to shut up, but the other part, I definitely, which of your children do you want to pick to be sick so that way you can skip a line? And that would usually make them kind of go, huh? What? I mean, I love the Make-A-Wish kids, though. I mean, when I saw them, I would cry behind that camera because you would see these kids that were sick and they would just start to smile. They would forget the pain. The family would forget the suffering. And you would just see these amazing, magical moments with them. That may have been one of my favorite parts. And I've told a couple stories. But I love when you'd see these kids just forget everything. And when you didn't have somebody in line so that you could focus on them and let them enjoy their moment. Oh my goodness. The Make-A-Wish was easily my favorite. And such amazing moments with them. If you ever want to have a good cry, go follow a Make-A-Wish family around the park. Okay, don't follow them around. That's stalking. Don't do that. But if you ever have the opportunity to just watch a couple of these interactions with the Make-A-Wish families and kids, it will blow you away. It will change you in a good way, I hope. So those are some of the guests that would drive me a little bit bonkers and crazy at Disney when I was working with the characters. Some of the ones just makes you wonder what's going on in the head because it just isn't functioning. The circuits aren't firing right. Do you have stories like that? I would love to hear them as well. Please don't hesitate to share them with me. Thank you too for liking, subscribing. Hope you enjoy my temporary studio. I would work on everything else. Yeah, this is my backyard. It's nice. So thank you as well to my patrons for helping make my videos possible. And the equipment and gear, we will eventually get it all set up. I promise it will be coming here soon. Hopefully in a couple weeks. But thank you so much, though, to my patrons for helping make stuff possible. If you want to know more about support, about the perks, about merchandise, about fan pages, please check the description below. There's a ton of information there. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. I had a lot of... okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know about contact information, fan pages, merchandise, and more, please be sure to check the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to know when I have new ones, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button right up there. And if you want to see another one of my videos, well, I've got a great one for you right here. And a huge thank you to these wonderful people here who support me on Patreon and with YouTube memberships. They get behind the scenes information, special perks, and more. If you'd like to know more about that, well, make sure you check that button right there. Thank you so much.